Hi, my name is Jessica Gillen, and this is my project on rhetorical analysis. I chose to analyze the iconic poster, "Keep Calm and Carry On." Many people don't know that there is actually a lot of meaning behind the poster, and that is partly why I decided to choose it for my project. I learned a lot through the readings of Lloyd Bitzer, Laura Carroll, and Keith Grant Davey, and I hope that through this video you can learn a lot and have a new outlook on rhetorical analysis. One thing I learned a lot about was exigence. Lloyd Bitzer describes exigence as an imperfection marked by urgency. It is a defect, an obstacle, something waiting to be done, a thing which is other than it should be. Whereas Laura Carroll defines it as the circumstance or condition that invites a response. Both descriptions help the reader to better understand the term. However, I think Carroll's definition is simpler and easier to comprehend, whereas Bitzer's idea of exigence is more abstract. The exigence of the poster is World War II. The British government enlisted the Ministry of Information to make the posters. The MOI was the department responsible for publicity and propaganda. It was created at the end of World War I and again during World War II. Another term I learned about was purpose. Whether to entertain or teach, everything has a purpose. Lloyd Bitzer says that rhetorical discourse comes into existence as a response to situation, in the same sense that an answer comes into existence in response to a question or a solution in response to a problem. The purpose of the posters was to boost the public's morale during the war. The Keep Calm and Carry On posters were set to be distributed upon invasion of Britain by Germany. Audience as a rhetorical concept has transcended the idea of a homogeneous body of people who have stable characteristics and are assembled in the reader's presence, said Grant Davey. The intended audience was for the British citizens and general public. Because Britain was never invaded by Germany, these posters were never seen by the public. But similar posters were issued during the war like, "Your courage, your cheerfulness, your resolution will bring us victory," and "Freedom is in peril." These posters were plastered everywhere for the public to view. An additional term I learned about is very important to understand rhetorical analysis. The term is constraints. Carroll says that constraints limit the way the discourse is delivered or communicated. Bitzer says that the constraints of rhetorical situation are those things that have the power to constrain decision and action needed to modify the exigence. Basically meaning that a constraint is a bottleneck or something that makes something else hard to do. A constraint could be many different things. A constraint of this poster and its message would be that Germany never invaded, and therefore no one saw the posters during wartime, so they were ineffective. If the posters were seen during this time, a possible constraint could be people who were blind, people who didn't leave their houses, or people who simply didn't care about the posters or their message regardless of their reassuring nature. Now I'm going to analyze the text and the poster itself. The text itself has a simple message, keep calm and carry on, basically meaning stay composed during the stressful wartime and go about your day normally. The text is in a simple font which makes it easy to read. The letters are white against a blood-red backdrop, which can grab your attention from far away. The text is in all capital letters, which signifies importance and authority. It begs to be read by all who see it. Every poster has a crown at the top symbolizing King George VI. I think the crown is a sign of ethos. If a citizen saw the poster, they would most likely stop and read it, because the crown lends itself to the credibility of the king at the time. Citizens want to obey the order of the king. Years later, in 2000, the posters were rediscovered in a bookstore in England. The phrase has since then been popularized in many parts of the world, such as the United States and Germany, and has been printed on everything from mugs to t-shirts. Its sudden exposure and rise to pop culture fame goes to show that people everywhere still like a comforting and positive message.